Ricky. How are you?
I'm very well. How you doing, lovely?
I'm doing great. So to start, I yesterday when I was talking to William, I just kept making jokes because I do love how this movie does have a balance between these high stakes action sequences, and then you have Russell Crowe asking about artisanal cheese in the grocery store.
It is what makes this movie great. Every action movie, yeah, you've got explosions, car chases, you've got fighting and stuff and death and blah, blah, blah. Russell Crowe brings gravitas. He brings strength. He brings aggression, but he brings so much heart and warmth to this and comedy.
Hmm.
Who This is a non-stop roller coaster thriller.
Hmm.
And it really is intense the whole way through. Like I remember watching this at one of the screenings we had with some people, and the person next to me was gripping her armrest so tightly. I was cracking up. She was jumping and moving, and I'm going, oh, I shot it. I've read the script. I know what's coming, and I forgot how much action is involved.
Hmm.
But the comedy that's also in the dynamic between the boys, between Milo, Liam, Luke, myself, and then the comedy between Chica and Dan and Russell, it just adds a crazy element that you're just not expecting in such a intense situation, and to balance that kind of that juxtaposition of war. No one wins at war. Death is not entertainment. It's sad. It's tragic and it's horrible and it's sad because this is real life. It's a fun movie, but we have our heroes and our forces out there making true sacrifices, and so to balance that with what Chica and Russell and Dan were doing in the movie is it really brings a beautiful element to what I think is the best action of the year. I'm saying it right now. It's that's what it's gonna be pushed as. It's the best action of 2024.
You're like February 9th. I'm labeling it the best
I'm
action
I'm
2024.
going early. I'm going early. February 9th, best action of the year. Done. And I know what's coming. I'm that confident.
I know it. When I do think like we were talking yesterday and I kept making jokes because I was just like, yeah, it reminded me of like I wanted more of Nice Guys Russell Crowe, and then I got him a little bit in this because he is so funny. And then I think William said he was gonna make a movie that's just called The Land of Dad, and it's a sequel of this. And and I was like, yeah, that's great. But it is to me, it's this movie is so fascinating because it is you have so many internet boyfriends in one action movie that it is very, very funny to kind of watch that come to life because it's like Liam is my favorite Hemsworth brother, but then to see him with Luke, I was like, we finally did it. Now the other Hemsworths are in a movie together. And then you have Milo, who everyone's obsessed with his thighs. And then you have you. And so it's like the action sequences are like, here's all of the internet boyfriends. And then it cuts to the comedy. And then you're like, okay, but which one am I looking like? What am I more fascinated by?
So, are you prepared to say that Valentine's Day weekend, Land of Bad is one for the ladies?
It is because listen, I said this to William. I was like, what were you doing having them shirtless in shorts in Guantanamo Bay?
Gratuitous for no reason. They could have kept our clothes on.
It was like, why were they? He goes, well, I figured they would take their shirts off and like get hosed out. I was like, yeah, but there's no, the entire thing was just like
What?
shirtless dudes.
Why would you have me, Milo, Liam, Luke, sweaty and shirtless? Like it's. I mean, it's for pure entertainment. It's pure gratuitous. It's got nothing to do with a story. It's for the ladies. It's for the guys. No, it is part of the movie, but it's just one of those elements. It was so hard to not look into Liam's baby blue eyes and fall in love because he's so beautiful. And like you try and not look at him and like there's Luke and his baby blue eyes, and you're like, oh my god, there's two of them. And so you just like turn away, and then there's Milo and his jacked body, just like, oh, and his sexy voice, like, oh. I was like, I was just fangirling every time I looked around set, like for real. Like they're just beautiful humans. I'm just like, oh, they're so sexy. I'm so lucky. I think I was the envy of like everyone. It was great. It's really great. But at the same time, they're incredible actors, and they put in performances like that. We were shooting it, and at the time the producers were sat behind the camera, and I remember them like they were talking about a scene that we just did, and we were watching it back, and they were like, I could sell a prequel sequel off just these rushes alone, off these little moments alone. She said, "This is so good," and it was. We got on so well off camera. We were having steak dinners. We were going out for dinner and hanging out in the gym. Just having a laugh. That chemistry kind of off camera was able to be brought on camera.
Mhm.
And I just think that that those dynamics that we kind of were able to build, and it really kind of elevates the movie into a fun watch. Yes, it's epic and it's intense and there's some dark moments, but there's some fun in there. And Russell's no slouch. Like, he has got crazy comedy chops. Like you say, the Nice Guys. That's one of my favorite movies. That
Same.
that brought Russell and Ryan Gosling to a different level for me. I was like, Ryan does his thing, and I'm like, Russell's just always angry. And then you watch these two with the most comedic, hilarious thing. It's a great find. Not a lot of people watched it, and so when they do that, like, really kind of taken aback. And
Mhm.
Russell in this is not what you expect. He
No.
brings his Russell, but he also brings this comedic element and this warm kind of father figure element that I just think just puts this movie on a different level for me, and especially kind of. I don't want to. No, I nearly spoiled the movie then. But yeah, he brings some great warmth to this, and I'm really excited for people to see it.
Yeah, and I will say when I pitched, and then you guys being part of the Nice Guys sequel called The Land of Dad, we did say, I was like, they all could just be like other private eyes and detectives, and it's like they all are group. So you guys are also included in this
That's
mystery.
amazing. Yeah, we could do that. We can cross into the
It's a
universe.
crossover no one saw coming.
Just keep swapping and just be like, wait a second, aren't those the guys from Land of Bad?
And now they're in Land of Dad. I do have a quick question because I do think Milo had a lot of work because he was the one American in this movie about Americans. And I do think the Ohio sequence is one of the funniest things I've ever seen because I was like, so you had to tell an Australian and a guy from New Zealand about Ohio. Like, that, what was that situation like? But for you, like, when you are, representing American soldiers, you got one American on your team. Did you guys have conversations about like what is it like in the Midwest? Like, what is it like in Kansas? Or did you guys just kind of go, nah, we're throwing ourselves in this and not thinking about
No,
random
I mean,
places?
no, the guys did their research. Liam, obviously Russell. Russell did some crazy research, even from the beginning. You know what? People think Russell just turns up and does his thing,
Mhm.
right? No, Russell was off script, like in Zooms before we even like did table reads and stuff. He was off script. Like, he's so incredible. It's why he's one of my idols and why I wanted to do this movie. But there's a part at the beginning of the movie where he's very OCD about his coffee, who's putting the coffee in order,
Mhm.
and things are out of place in the office. And that's something that he brought, because he's like, I want the audience to understand who my character is. And it's those little things that he adds. He was fascinating to watch and to learn about those little nuanced choices. It's incredible for me, a young actor, to kind of watch someone like him and do things like that. That I'm definitely going to steal for my next projects.
Land of Dad.
But for Land of Dad. But it's hilarious that, yeah, we literally have a Brit and two Australians in this movie, this Delta American Delta Force team, with one American in it. Literally nobody else was American in the whole movie. Um, but hopefully we do you proud.
Mhm.
I think we all know what Americans are like. I think we nailed it.
Mhm.
Charismatic, loud.
That's true.
Cocky. That's America, right?
Well, the loud part came from Milo being Italian. I can say that as an Italian, so that's why the Italians
No,
are
it's
represented.
there were a lot of comments while we were filming, like, about like the lack of Americans in this American movie, but it's just where we are. If you want your internet boyfriends all in the same movie, then I'm afraid we're gonna have to, we're all gonna have to just pretend.
Of one American. I do listen. When I said this to William, he was like, "Are you from near Ohio?" And I was like, or he's like, "Are you from Ohio?" I was like, "I'm from near. I'm from Pittsburgh." So we used to go to
Pittsburgh,
Ohio all the time.
Ohio adjacent.
So I knew it so well. I was like, who told these men about Ohio? Who sat
That's
there?
David Frugero. That's the right. David Frugero was very thorough. I think him and William Eubank, the director, they went to Air Force bases. They met with soldiers. Kinney was a real person, a real soldier that I just met in Vegas, funny enough. And they really did their research on kind of characters and where people were from and how they go about things and how they speak. You know, obviously this is Hollywood and we can't come in too kind of on point because Paul Kale, who was the Australian Delta Force, and he was kind of like helping us train before we went on to set. He was like saying the whole movie would have been done in silence. None of us would have spoken. There was no need to speak. It's only it spans 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
We wouldn't speak for weeks. Like, and it's like, what? It's like, no, because if you speak, people know where you are. It's all hand movements. So, you know, obviously we had to add the Hollywood element in there. So Frugero did his research on Ohio and Kansas and all the singing and all those little things. He's very thorough. He's very into it. Like, he's like a child. Frugero's like a kid. Like, he gets so excited. Like, I don't think he has a normal volume. He's always here. He's here. And then there's this thing, and it's gonna be so cool. It's awesome. And then, no, but I spoke to the guy. Kenny's a real guy. And you're just like, you are way too into this, Fridge. You need to relax. Chill. No more espresso for Fridge.
I love it. Thank you so much for talking with me. I can't wait to talk to you for Land of Dad. And I can't
it's epic. The sequel, the prequel and the sequel for Land of Bad, and then Land of Dad.
Yeah.
Land of Bod is the soft porn version. That's gonna be
making our own universe.
We're making a franchise, like a literal universal franchise that's got everything.
I love it. Thank you so much for talking with me, and I can't wait.
Land of Pad, we can go to each other's houses. Oh my God, this
that's
just
a good
goes
one.
on.
That's a good one. I like it. But thank you so much. Have a good day.
Have a great day. Thanks a lot.
Bye.